So I want to transition. This is an interesting story, and in 10 minutes, Ben Cross, NBC Sports, Ben Cross is joining me on the show. So this was an interesting headline, one that I don't see too often, but it's becoming much more prevalent now. The boxing world gained two new eclectic fighters: Deron Williams, the former NBA star, and Frank Gore, the former NFL star, though technically he hasn't officially retired in the NFL. He's actually fielded interest from teams in the NFL, but he's bypassed those opportunities to focus on boxing. Those two gentlemen are actually going to be fighting on the undercard of the Jake Paul-Tommy Fury fight. So talk about headlines that you didn't expect to wake up and see yesterday. That's the one that I saw that had me shook and taken aback fully. So these are the two latest athletes to foray into the combat sports arena. Deron Williams, 37 years old, 6'3", a wingspan of 6'6". This is a three-time All-Star, retired from the NBA after the 2016-2017 season. And the interesting thing about him is he's coached by Saif Saud, and who's actually a pretty reputable MMA trainer and a former judo fighter. Had a 3-0 MMA record, so he's in good hands. Who's the owner of the Fortis Gym Academy, which is where Deron Williams is actually is a part owner in the gym as well. And Sood actually trains Uriah Hall, Lonzo Menafield, and Geoff Neal. So he's got some reputable clients that are helping him out. But again, so you have Deron Williams juxtapose Frank Gore, who's 38 years old, who's 5'9". He's built like a tank. Don't get me wrong. He's built like a tank. The 5-time Pro Bowler, 16 years in the NFL. And his manager is actually a longtime fight rep, Malky Kawa of the First Round Management. Also reps other NFL players. He has repped John Jones before. He's repped Anthony Pettis, Jorge Masvidal, BJ Penn. So he's got some guys at his disposal as well. And of course, this is going to be for the December 18th, a fight at Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. Again, part of the undercard between Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. So the fight's taking place at 215 pounds, and it's 4 3-minute rounds. Now, the last time we saw truly NBA guys enter the combat sports arena, we saw Nate Robinson get absolutely obliterated by Jake Paul. We saw Lamar Odom fight Aaron Carter, the rapper. Surprisingly, that fight actually was bought. And now apparently Kendall Gill, former NBA player, really good NBA player, is trying to venture into pro fighting sports. And the only thing I'll say before I dive into this is I guess both of these guys are claiming that they've got some background experience. Frank Gore has been training both for football and for boxing the past several off seasons. And Deron Williams is a former 2-time state wrestling champ at 67 pounds and 112 pounds back in his day. Really big into wrestling. So that's what has kind of added to this passion apparently for fighting. He's got some background. Again, wrestling is very different from boxing, but he has sparred with UFC fighter Ryan Spann, who trains at his gym. But this is the thing that I wanted to say. We're living in an age where people are consuming entertainment boxing. It's not about the quality of the boxing. It's about the entertainment value that it has. And so for a lot of kind of boxing purists and boxing traditionalists, this form of entertainment boxing is really kind of diluting the actual arena of combat sports, because what you're throwing in is guys with huge followings, guys with clout, versus guys that are truly talented at the sport trying to ascend in the sport. Now, I don't have any issues with that necessarily. I think that what Jake Paul and the Ball brothers have shown is that they've really mastered the ways in which you can monetize off of your huge following. Whether you're a YouTuber, whether you're an entertainer, for any of these quote-unquote interlopers that are trying to enter into the combat sports field, to their credit, they've kind of created the blueprint for how to still monetize off your name and circumvent traditional promoters to give yourself opportunities to execute fights. And in fairness, they've also generated a lot more revenue for lesser known fighters that they've brought along on the undercard to split a greater share of the revenue with. So they in fairness, they've done a lot of really great things. But again, for combat sport purists, what's the message that we're sending here? And the question that I have is pretty simple. I just don't know what the true motivation is. I understand that both of these guys allegedly claim to have this burning passion and desire to engage in combat sports. But this just seems, but I don't know if this is an attempt to regain some type of relevancy or if it's a financial thing. Deron Williams has made over $157 million in earnings in his career. Frank Gore has made over $62 million of earnings in his career. So I don't want to believe that it's financially motivated, but is it to regain relevancy? Is it truly to try your hand at professional fighting? I don't know. And the other baffling thing is why these two guys? One of the things that makes combat sports so entertaining and so captivating are the narratives, are the storylines. Do these guys have true disdain for one another? I have no idea. Deron Williams is from Dallas. Frank Gore is from Miami, Florida. I guess Texas and Florida have some kind of beef with one another. I don't know. Why these two guys? It seems so random. It seems so arbitrary. I just don't understand. Do they have a history? Where did these two guys come out from? That's the question that I have. Well, I mean, why these two individuals? Do they have some type of animus and bad blood between one another? Those are the questions that I want to know. Now, I do think it will generate some more eyeballs on the fight, but I like understanding why these two guys are going after one another. And right now, I just don't really know why. But again, when I saw that headline, I said, well, here we go. This is the age that we're living in. This is the age that we're living in.